Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. And who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Virgil Ortiz and his win, but I also want to talk more about what happened after the win, who he called out. Really quick, if you like this video, please take the time, subscribe to the channel. Also hit that thumbs up button because it does help, and it shows love and support to this channel. So Virgil Ortiz just had a win, and congratulations to him, and welcome back to him. He's been plagued with some injuries. He's also been plagued with some illnesses. He's been sick. He's gotten COVID like twice. So he's been down and out. And in his comeback fight, he looked really good. I think he looked strong. I think he looked healthy at the weight. I have no negatives about the fight or, how he conducted himself during the fight. I have no negatives about that. It's what he said after the fight where he says he wants Tim Tszyu. I love that matchup. So based upon what I saw of him in the fight, he looked good. I mean, now granted, you're in there with somebody that, you probably should beat, but he looked good. He looked good. He looked strong. He looked very composed. And although he's had a long layoff, you can tell the amount of time that he put in to training and getting himself back into true fight shape. And how do you determine that? Or how do I determine that? How composed he looked in the ring. Even when he had his guy hurt, he didn't rush. He still took his time. He stepped into it. He didn't rush and run over to him to try to finish him off and some flurry of punches or anything like that. He still led with the jab. He was still very cautious. Because anybody been in a ring, yeah, you can run across that ring, but a wounded animal is the most dangerous. So he was still cautious, and he was very composed in his punching. And he finished, listen, I think he did a great job. Based on that performance, do I think that he can beat a Tim Tszyu? I think he would give a good showing for himself. That's what I think. Do I think he can beat Tim Tszyu? I think he would need another fight under his belt. But I love the matchup. Kudos to Tim Tszyu because he knows he's coming up in the world. When people start calling you out, that means you're coming up in the world. That means you're important. That means you're the guy. Nobody can call out Charlo right now because, he's got his own stuff going on. But what I can do is I can call out the next best guy. And the next best guy is Tim Tszyu. And that would be an amazing matchup. How that will play out, I would still give the edge to Tim. You look at who, Virgil Ortiz just fought, and you look at who Tim Tszyu just fought. There's a difference, so I got to go with Tim. I got to go with Tim on this. I think Virgil would give some things to Tim that he hasn't seen before, and I think Virgil is the right amount of tough that would really test Tim. Because I think two types of fighter would give Tim an issue in the ring. One would be a really slick guy, somebody who's not going to totally commit to anything, and will not engage. He will hit, but once he hits, he will move. He's not going to fully engage. He's not going to give you what you want, and he's going to be hard to pin down in this corner or that corner. The other guy would be somebody who will match him in toughness. So Arturo Gatti, prior to meeting Mickey Ward, said, the guy that I'm worried about is the guy who has the same heart as me. That's going to be the guy that I'm going to worry about. Somebody who will match me in physical and mental toughness. Not the physical ability, but the mental toughness and the heart. Somebody who can get knocked down, get right back to his feet, and march straight forward with complete belief that he can still win. That's the guy I need to be worried about. That's what he said. That's what Arturo Gatti said. And then he met his match. He met Mickey Ward, And I think somebody like a Virgil Ortiz could give Tim Tszyu that type of fight. Somebody who's going to say, no, I'm just as tough as you are. I'm just as determined as you are. I'm just as stubborn as you are. I'm not going anywhere. I'll meet you after this round, and I'll meet you after the following round, and I'll meet you after the following round. I will be here in the center of this ring. I think Virgil Ortiz could give that. I also think Virgil Ortiz has a really nice jab. And he likes to throw a lot of punches. So for that, I think it'd be an amazing fight. Neither guy is going to be hard to find. I mean, it would be interesting between the two to see who would lead the dance. Somebody's got to back up. And, you know, I don't care who it is. In every matchup, somebody's got to back up. And I think it would be interesting to see who would back up or who would consistently back up. Who would back up first? I know who, you know, they would both run to the center of the ring. But at some point, somebody would have to give way. I do give a slight edge to Virgil Ortiz in the beginning of the fight, just simply because he is a more of a composed guy. And he does throw a lot of punches, while you have Tim Tszyu, and you know he likes to see what's going on first before he unleashes anything. So yeah, early I'm not saying he would win, but I could see how Virgil Ortiz could have a lot of success very early. But looking into the latter rounds, when you're throwing that many punches, and then you gotta think Virgil Ortiz has been going for a long time. And looking at his opponent, it wasn't like he was giving him anything he needed to be worried about. Tim Tszyu would come with the type of heat that Virgil Ortiz needs to be worried round after round. He's coming with that type of heat. So you need to be worried. And it would be interesting. I think those middle rounds would be interesting because I think you would have a fully awake Tim Tszyu, and then you would have a fully awake Tim Tszyu. And then you would also have a Virgil Ortiz who's been warmed up. And now we're going to see what this fight is going to be. Because, you know, every once in a while, you'll get a fight that starts off hot. I mean, round one, it's a blaze. But typically, you warm up, you warm into the fight. You know, you get loose, you get comfortable. It's like, all right, I'm here. I've been in the back room. I've been training. I made it to the venue. I've been in the back room. I've been watching all the other fights in the prompter. You know, now I'm in the ring. You know, I need to loosen up. I need to, you know, so it's just like you got to get into your groove. I think by the middle rounds, both guys would be ready, locked, and loaded, ready to go. Like I said, Virgil Ortiz, he throws a lot of punches. So if we're talking around, you know, 5, 6, 7, he's ready to go. And then you look at Tim Tszyu. He's ready to go. He's computed whatever he's needed to compute, and he's answered whatever questions Virgil Ortiz would have thrown at him thus far. But now he's warmed up, and he's ready to go. And I think both guys would have taken a few shots, more than a few solid shots by that time. And I think they'd be wearing on each other. So I think it'd be an interesting fight. I love the idea of Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz. But if, you know, I were in his camp, I would say, well, let's pump the brakes. Let's get you another fight. Let's just, let's shake up all the cobwebs before, you know, we go calling out this guy. I love the idea of you calling him out, but let's shake up all the cobwebs. You know, let's have another amazing camp. We're gonna have another solid opponent, and I would even suggest having a few more rounds, you know, with that solid opponent. You know, if let's just say you just came back and you did 4. All right, that's great. But you need to do at least 8. Get 8 more rounds under your belt. Get a little bit more comfortable. You've been gone for a while. You know, you've been gone for a while. And like I said, it wasn't like that opponent was like really pressing you or putting you in a position where, you know, you really had to dig deep, you know. So I think he needs a tougher opponent, and I think he needs one more opponent. But after that, I say, let's go. Virgil Ortiz is young. Let's go. Let's lock and load. Let's do it. I'm all for it. I am all for Virgil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu bumping heads in the ring. I got no issues with that. I think that's a fun fight. And you're talking about a wild crowd. So, and if you could have that fight in Australia, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that place would be off the scales. You know, Virgil Ortiz comes to fight. He's no slouch. He's ready to go. He's locked and loaded. So that would be fun. And Tim Tszyu, he's coming to take souls. So either way, I think we would get an amazing fight. But just to be safe, one more fight for Virgil Ortiz. Just one. Shake up all the cobwebs and get more rounds under your belt when you have that fight. And find a more durable, bullheaded type of guy to get him in the ring with. Because that guy, Virgil Ortiz, didn't look worried at all in that fight. So I think he needs somebody who's going to apply some pressure. And then we can have our Tim Tszyu fight. I'm all for it. But you tell me what you think. Drop your thoughts down below. Do you agree that Virgil Ortiz would need one more fight if he were to actually fight Tim Tszyu? I know that's what he was screaming after the fight, but if he were to actually have that fight, I think it would be safest if he had another tune-up fight. And then he go for that fight. But I love the fight nonetheless. Please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.